Shalom, friends of Israel. I am Lizerbram, National President of Jewish National Fund USA. Thank you for joining us for our daily briefing. As I have said, it is so important for us to remain connected and engaged, and with all that is unfolding in Israel. Joining us today is our dear friend, General Doron Almog, Chairman of the Executive of the Jewish Agency for Israel. Prior to his role with the Jewish Agency, Doron founded Negev-Nahalat Eran, a proud JNF-USA affiliate. Doron has a storied career as a leader in the JNF, rising to the position of commander of the IDF's Southern Command. Doron, you are our friend, ally, colleague, and part of our family. We were all devastated to learn of the immense loss your family experienced this past month, with 6 members of your family taken from us. We share in your profound grief, but are inspired by your resolve and your strength. We're honored to have you with us today. Doron?
Okay. Okay, good.
So as you can see, we are live, and sometimes there's internet issues throughout Israel. We'll see if we can get Doron back live with us. If not, we'll move to our next speaker. We'll give it just a minute.
Okay. You hear me?
Yes.
Russell, you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, the power taken off and my computer shut down, and I started everything from beginning. So sorry. I'm with you right now. Thank you, Saul. Thank Russell. Thank for the partnership for more than 20 years together, building Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran before Ale Negev. And thank you for everything you do in the Negev right now. I know that you have a command and control center in Ra'anana, and you do a lot for the Gaza envelope communities, for the citizens, for the Israelis, refugees. We have refugees. Among them, my family from Kibbutz Kfar Aza. And I want to tell you a little bit. 8 days ago, we buried Nadav Goldstein Almog, the manager of Kafrit. Kafrit is a plastic industry of Kibbutz Kfar Aza. Nadav was a soldier in Sayeret Matkal. He was brutally killed in his home, together with Yam, 19 years old, soldier. And there were 6 inside their home in Kfar Aza. Chen, married to Nadav Chen Almog, a daughter of Giora and Shlomit Almog from Kfar Aza, my cousin. And Chen was taken hostage together with Agam, 17 years old daughter, and 2 boys, Gal and Tal, 11 and 9. About months and a half ago, we met together in Haifa. 20 years ago, 5 members from the Almog family were killed in a bombing in Maxim restaurant in Haifa. Yoel Almog from Kibbutz Kfar Aza is the master of the ceremony for 20 years. He is leading the ceremonies for Zeev Almog, who was legend in our Navy, a submarine commander, the commander manager of the Naval Academy in Akko. For 23 years. Zeev Almog was killed 20 years ago. His wife, Ruti, Holocaust survivor. Their son, Moshik, and 2 grandsons, Asaf and Tomer. Doron Almog, as I said, the master of the ceremony, led us just at the beginning of October, few days before this bloody war. And then we found ourselves a week ago, 8 days ago, buried Nadav and Yam. But I want to start from the position of Chen Almog. Chen, now bereaved wife. Chen lost her husband, Nadav, and lost her elder daughter, Yam, and now she's hostage, together with 3 children. What a horrible situation. I've been in their house. I saw the blood all over. I saw the bullets, 100 of bullets inside. And we don't know what the situation right now of Chen, Agam, Gal, and Tal. By the way, all 4 children of Chen and Nadav, all of them taken from the sea. Why from the sea? Because Ze'ev Almog, the legendary commander in our Navy, was a man of sea, the commander of the Israeli Naval Academy. So Yam is water, Yam, Mediterranean Ocean, Agam, lake, wave, Gal is wave, and Tal, all the 4 names taken from the sea, and all of them came to our world after the shocking bombing in Maxim restaurant 20 years ago. So many families in Israel right now experiencing a huge tragedy, never before. And all the Gaza envelope communities right now in hotels all over Israel, in Elat, in Yam HaMelech, in the Dead Sea, in Jerusalem, Netanya, Haifa, Nachsholim, and I meet them and I hear their stories. By the way, I didn't say, but Didi's sister, Chavatzelet, she's living in Nir Oz. And barely she is alive because her husband killed 2 terrorists when they came inside their shelter. And she is now removed to Elat. She lost everything, the home that was burnt and car. And she's one of the refugees. She's working in Shabak. Didi's other sister work in Mossad. The doctor of Sayeret Matkal from my family, and many from my family continue serving in a spearhead units of the IDF. One of them, Eran Avrutkin, named after my brother that was killed in the Yom Kippur War. Doron Almog was 10 in the bombing in Haifa at Maxim restaurant 20 years ago. Now he's 30, lost his sight, is blind, and he continued serving. He graduated the same school that I was graduated, the Reali School in Haifa, as excellent student. He served in Sayeret Matkal as blind soldier. You believe it? A blind soldier joined Sayeret Matkal, not as combat, but as staff intelligence officer. And Adi, his sister, was in the bombing in Maxim restaurant. She was 4 years old. She's now officer in the Navy, captain. She was under Agari. Daniel Agari, the IDF spokesman. The IDF spokesman, Daniel Agari, he was the commander of the Israeli Shayetet 13, Israeli Naval Commando. His brother, Yoni, in Adi Negev-Nahalat, Eran, his brother shared a room with our son, Eran. And Adi, the sister of Doron Almog, she was 4 years old in the Maxim bombing. She's now 24. She served under Daniel Agari in Shayetet 13 as a woman soldier. Now she's captain in the Navy. So what I'm telling you that my family that suffer tragedies, we lost 5 in Maxim restaurant, we lost 2 right now. 4 hostages. Many of my family continue. Omri Almog is a pilot, F-16 pilot. He was on the way to the restaurant when he was 14, 20 years ago. He's now 34, he's F-16 pilot. Many from my family continue fighting in Israel. And I tell you more than that. My family from Kibbutz Kfar Aza, the Goldstein Almog family, Giora Almog and Shlomit, and Gogo and Varda Goldstein. You know what they say, what they said in the funeral? They say, we return to Kfar Aza. No secret to tell you that many Israelis who were evacuated, many consider not returning to the communities, to the kibbutzim. Many suffer trauma, many afraid. It doesn't matter what the damage in the kibbutz and how many people were killed or taken hostage, many in trauma. But my family, who suffers so much, continue saying, we for sure get back. We'll return to Kfar Aza. And now I'm arriving to myself as the chairman of the Executive of Jewish Agency. As the chairman of the Executive of Jewish Agency, just few days after the war started, I gathered to a telephone conversation with all the regional municipalities council, including the towns, including Yechiel Zohar and Itzik Danino, Yechiel Zohar from Netivot, Itzik Danino from Ofakim, and I told them, listen, the situation is terrible. Myself, as the chairman of the Executive of Jewish Agency, immediately I opened a bank account, like Russell Robinson arrived to Israel, opened the headquarters, and enlisting all the JNF supporters. I told all the municipalities, listen, I put 10 million shekel to support you. I know it's the 10 million shekel, it's nothing. But as the executive, as the chairman of the Executive Jewish Agency, this is my role right now to assist you. So, number one, I open a bank account and for immediate support, the number one. Number two, I'm committed, like my family from Kfar Aza, I'm committed for the Gaza envelope communities rehabilitation, for building the kibbutzim, for building all our communities. Of course, we have military lessons learned how to rebuild and how to arrange our defense along Gaza and the north and so on. But I'm speaking as Israeli proud citizen right now. We are committed. If we are not returning to the Gaza envelope communities or to one of them, we lost the Zionist idea. The Zionist idea, despite having enemies all around us, in Hezbollah in Lebanon and in Syria and Iran and Gaza and so on, despite all our enemies, we are committed, despite the heavy price that we are, all of us, paying every day. We must continue standing tall, continue building our communities. And I want to tell you, not everyone will be able to come back. Not all the families will come back. But we need to fill the line. And Russell and my JNF partners, this is our role, to bring more Olim. And there is no secret right now, anti-Semitism is rising all over the world, in the United States and Europe, in Russia, all over the world. I expect about 1 million Jews will come in the next few years to Israel. We need to be prepared for more Aliyah. We need also to have a strong Jewish community in the United States and to have the United States as a strong strategic partner standing with Israel. It's highly important for Israel's security, and God bless President Biden arrived. I was one of those who met President Biden when he came, and I bless President Biden and the U.S. administration right now to support Israel, sending the 2 carriers and mariners and being ready number one, to deter Hezbollah, threat Iran, and be ready also to fight with Israel if it happens. I hope it won't happen. I hope we won't continue another front, expanding the current front in the north of Israel. As you know, right now we keep it on low profile. Every day there are battles in north of Israel, but hopefully the main effort will continue staying in Gaza. Today I came also to the command control center of the Southern Command. I was 23 years ago, I was the commander of the Southern Command. I came to the same building, the same command control center, to get a briefing on the soldiers, how they operate, what they operate. I gave some of my lessons learned, how to do the war. They are good. And I'm telling you, they are good. Our soldiers, our commanders, they do the right thing. They're attacking Hamas in Gaza. In the north, continue on a low signature attack on Hezbollah. It's a reaction to Hezbollah. But I want to tell you that in the south, we are intending to dismantle Hamas military capacity. But we shouldn't have any illusion about the end state. The end state would be staying in Gaza about 1.5, between 1.5 to 2 million Palestinian. Ideologically, all of them Hamas. It doesn't matter if we kill all the leadership of Hamas in Gaza right now. Those who are right now 8 years old or 9 or 10, they would be the next leaders. In my life, I participated in many targeted operations since being 19 years old, and I know what comes next. So I don't see a situation that we don't have enemy. If we speak about what may be the end state of the situation in Gaza, I wish, number one, to return most or maybe all our hostage, all our prisoners, hopefully alive, number one. Number two, to dismantle the military capacity of Hamas and prepare ourselves to the next stage, which would be a combination of military and politics, together with the United States, together with Egypt, together with some of the Gulf, maybe United States moving or willing to have a peace accord with the Saudis. And it's blessed idea. I hope it will happen, a peace accord with the Saudis. But meanwhile, we need to solve some of our problems here in south of Israel. And a leader should create at the end state a better strategic situation. Many of the settlers of Gaza envelope say, I won't come back if the situation more or less the same. If Hamas got military capacity, I don't have the power to convince my children and get back to our community. I heard that many times, and I believe most of you had it many times. How much it will take? It may take few months. I hope sooner than later to end the ground campaign and get some negotiation on the end state, on preparing much bigger perimeter to defend the community, to defend the Gaza envelope Israel communities. In respect of Adi Negev, I would like, number one, telling you thank you. I would like tell you that we continue building Adi Negev. We continue opening shortly the third rehabilitation department in the first rehabilitation hospital in south of Israel. We fully committed for the disabled, the injured, the handicapped, never leave them behind. All of you know that I'm committed due the loss of my brother who was killed in the Yom Kippur War and left behind 7 days until being evacuated. All of you know that our son, who was born 11 years after the Yom Kippur, was named after my brother. And was defined as severely brain damaged, never spoke one word, never said Abba, never made eye contact, passed away 17 years ago, and myself committed until my last day for the wounded, handicapped, injured, to never leave them behind. And you are my partner, and you are with me in this oath, in this commitment. Continue building the third department, the rehabilitation department in our new hospital. Continue building the first research center for the benefit of any wounded, to give him the best high standard of treatment. And continue building a community of 500 families. We need a lot of manpower: doctors, administrators, psychologists, hydrotherapists, physiotherapists. We need a lot of manpower. So another job that I'm asking you, please convince your friends in the United States to bring those doctors to serve in Israel right now. We need many more. And now, as the chairman of the executive of Jewish Agency, of course, I will cooperate with any attempt to bring more Jews and experts to the industry. Right now, about 300,000 soldiers enlisted, the reservists in Israel, and the economy is slowed down in Israel. The economy of Israel is slowing down. You know it, you feel it in the street. We need more people. And this is the worst situation of Israel, the biggest crisis since our independence war. And we need to continue building the state of Israel. We are strong. We stand tall together. And we are going to build a new Israel together with you. Israel as Jewish, democratic, free, and liberal country. Thank you so much, my partner. I love you.
So, Doron, to you and to Didi, your strength and your resilience of your family is unparalleled. You make us stronger here in the United States, and we will be with you like we have been. We'll be back with you. We'll be in your new facilities with you. You could count on us, just like we count on you. You can count on us. So thank you so much for joining us today. I know how busy you are. We'll hopefully we can call on you again and maybe ask some questions. In the meantime, please say hello to Didi from your whole family in the United States. Thank you so much. So now we'll turn to Elie Klein, Director of Development, Negev-Nahalat, Eran. Elie, we are grateful for the messages of hope and resilience that you've been sharing with us through these dark days. Elie, over to you.
Thank you so much. Gary, my slides, please. So, as everyone knows, as Doron just highlighted once again, Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran is, in literal translation, the jewel of the Negev, Iran's legacy. Because of Doron's love for Eran, we have this beautiful, sprawling 40-acre campus in the upper Negev that cares for 170 residents with severe disabilities. 190 additional special education students come each and every day to take advantage of our incredible resources. We have 70 plus rehabilitation inpatients at our hospital. We have 50,000 plus outpatient rehabilitation treatments every single year. We have 36 special needs gardeners. The list goes on and on and on. I like to refer to Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran as the real happiest place on earth. And as you can see from some of the pictures here, it is always teeming with life. And the true beauty behind Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran is not just the big spaces, the sprawling 40-acre campus. It's the people of all ages and backgrounds and religions and languages and levels of ability, all coming together to lift each other up. These are some pictures from happier times. And these are some pictures from now. This is the reality. Our special education school is closed. Our special needs gardeners are not able to work the land in our organic farm. No one's coming for therapies at our therapeutic horse farm and therapeutic petting zoo. Our accessible playground, which is usually full of screams of laughter, there's just nothing going on. Because as of October 7th, a new reality has come to Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran. First and foremost, obviously, we are operating from our enclosed protected spaces. As you can see, everyone from our babies in our intensive care unit all the way up to our residents and our our rehabilitative patients, everyone is in their protected wards, in their protected bunkers, and the large majority of activities happen there. There are so many amazing, beautiful JNF-USA shelters all throughout the Negev. At Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran, whereas our friends in, let's say, Sderot have 10 to 15 seconds to get to where they need to be in the case of a siren, at Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran, we have 0 seconds because we're dealing with the most vulnerable members of Israeli society. They use walkers, they use wheelchairs, they're in beds, whatever it might be, we have to be operating from there already. So already, starting from the first siren on October 7th, we were operating from our closed spaces. Later in the day on October 7th, we had a battalion of soldiers come to take care of us. They've been there the entire time. At first, it was just a couple dozen. I heard from Avi Vortzman, the CEO of Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran, earlier today when I was taking a tour of the village, that there are 400 soldiers, some of them you cannot see, in and around our 40-acre campus, because we are at the epicenter of what you want to call in the line of fire. While we were there today, I heard some very scary big booms. The war is still going on, but as Doron says, we will win it because we have humanity on our side. Right now at the Rehabilitation Hospital, we have our amazing staff and incredible volunteers coming to make sure that the rehabilitation treatments still go on as much possible as planned. Though we can't use certain buildings because they're too far away from shelters, anything we can do in the hospital proper, we try to make sure that still happens. We still, again, try to make sure that our philosophy of not having people in beds, languishing in beds, but being out, being social, still continues. And the same continues with our residents. Our 170 residents, some people ask, well, if you saw that there was a situation, why weren't the residents relocated just like many of the other people in the area? And the answer is because this is their home. We can't move them. They rely on Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran. They rely on the support of JNF-USA to make sure that this stays their home and the home that can give them everything that they need. So we had to make sure that we could keep them there. Immediately following this past Shabbat, the very first email that I received was from Russell with this Jerusalem Post article that you see on the screen. Now, we knew that we needed to build the Elie Rehabilitation Medical Center at Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran because until we got involved, until we opened this hospital, there were only 850 rehabilitation hospital beds in the entire country, and none of them were in southern Israel. That is not something that is sustainable, especially because there are 9.7 million people in the country, and I always, on tours, would say something like, what if there was a massive crisis? What would happen? Well, unfortunately, we're in that massive crisis, and this is exactly what is happening, is we have a bed crisis. There's 4,500 people who are injured thus far in this war. Hundreds of brand new amputees. So many of them are from southern Israel. They're having to go all the way up away from their families to Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Herzliya, Haifa, but those hospitals can't even provide the large majority of them the care that they need. Not only are they away from home, but they're also in a place that can't even provide them with the care that they need. Luckily, we partnered with JNF-USA to build the Elie Rehabilitation Medical Center. Again, the first and only rehabilitation hospital in Israel South. So here are the realities of what we're dealing with right now at Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran. First and foremost, and this happened from the very first second of the attacks on October 7th. So many of our staff were home on October 7th because it was Shabbat, and it was also Simchat Torah. They had arranged their shifts so they could be home with their family. What that meant is that many of our Adi Negev families suffered a lot of loss. We have several of our staff members who were killed, were murdered by Hamas terrorists. Many others suffered multiple tragedies with almost their entire families being killed. Others lost their homes, whether they were firebombed or destroyed in other ways. Yet others were relocated, and yet others are tethered to their homes because they have elderly parents or they have children who have no kind of framework in wartime. So we immediately had a staffing problem. The staff that we do have coming to the village, which is about 150 less, there's about 700 staff who work in the Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran Rehabilitation Village. More than 150 of them are either elsewhere, unaccounted for, were murdered, or who have family members who are murdered, and we can't count on them. So that means that all the remaining staff members are working overtime, are working double shifts, are going above and beyond the call of duty. So our first responsibility is to make sure that we care for them. We've been getting them bereavement packages, going to the Shiva houses, and making sure that everyone who is there understands that they are truly the first line of defense in this war. They are making sure that the most vulnerable members of society are taken care of, and those who need to be healed are healed in this time of great pain. We have our soldiers still standing guard, but that is not at all sustainable. We really dodged a bullet. The main road that runs by Adi Negev-Nahalat Eran and goes to Ofakim, that was the main road that the parade of violent Hamas terrorists took on the morning of October 7th. For whatever reason, earlier on their route down this same road, they killed several soldiers at an army base, skipped us, then went into Ofakim and killed more people there. But they skipped us. It's an open miracle, because had they come in, we would have been totally unprepared, and horrible, horrible things could have happened. We need to make sure that that never happens again. So we are upgrading our security, and we're working on developing a tactical emergency force. The soldiers can't be there forever. We need to have our own protection and our own tightened security. You can see at the bottom left of the screen what we're doing right now. Our main focus at this moment in time is we are opening an emergency trauma ward. In the hospital itself, we have 72 beds, right? There's a neurological ward that was complete, and an orthopedic rehabilitation ward that was also completed, 36 beds each for a total of 72. We can extend it to a total of 83. But what we really need right now is to make sure that all of the soldiers and all of the violently harmed victims of Hamas terror in southern Israel don't have to travel up to Jerusalem and northern to find out that there are no beds for them. We need to keep them close to home. We need to make sure that they receive the care that they deserve. So right now we are opening this emergency ward in what was the beta version building of the hospital. And simultaneously, we are trying to work with JNF-USA to build the third ward, as Doron said. We have that third ward, you can see in the bottom right-hand side of the screen. It was in the middle of construction. We were hoping that it would be completed by the end of this coming winter, and now everything has stopped because the large majority of our labor, like most construction projects here in Israel, was Arab labor. We need to find a different solution. We're going to find labor from elsewhere in Asia. We're going to bring them, and with your help, with the help of JNF-USA, we're going to complete this ward, because this is what is needed now. There are so many people who are hurting, and we need to provide them with the proper medical, rehabilitative, and psychological emotional care. We need to rebuild. As Doron says, we need to come back stronger. We can only do that. We can only make sure that families feel comfortable coming back, living in the South, helping the South thrive by making sure that we complete this hospital, that it's always been what it's supposed to be, which is a social center and a center of healing, and making sure that everyone understands that humanity is going to win this thing. We just want to make sure that we provide all of those resources. And again, with your help, we're going to make that happen. Right now, we're operating the emergency ward, and with your help, in just a few months' time, we believe we can get that third and final ward up and running and help heal Southern Israelis.
So, Elie, thank you so much for being with us today, informing those that haven't seen your miraculous facility. I was there to put the shovel in the ground on that rehabilitation hospital. We'll be there for the expansion, the opening. Adi Negev is a miracle in the world, not just in the south of Israel. In December, we're going to announce the JNF-USA volunteer missions that we're going to run every week. So we'll be in touch with you regarding volunteers. We'll be with you till we see all those guests that you have enjoying themselves again, like we've seen so many times. So thank you for everything you do. Again, Doron and Didi, thank you for giving us the strength to continue. And we'll be calling on you and hopefully seeing you soon. Thanks again. Finally, we'll hear from Yoel Rosby, JNF-USA Israel Project Manager. Yoel, you've been in the Situation Room with Tali Tzur, Michal Ziahu, Orit Omer, and all of our JNF-USA Israel team, tirelessly answering the calls from so many during these last few weeks. We're grateful to hear from you and your report today. So, Yoel, please take it over.
Thank you, Sal, and good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Shalom. I have been in the Situation Room, and I have been on the ground with the unbelievable Israeli staff and operation that we have here. There is a team of many. Not one person can carry it alone. And with our amazing affiliates, some of who that are on the call, some of you have presented, some of you that you know. Being on the ground, I have a little note written to me on the ground. You know, when you're on the ground in the Gaza envelope in the last 3 weeks, it changes. The perspective that I personally had is over the 10 years that I've working with Jewish National Fund, building and working with the communities to build, it's surreal. Because the communities I know, and the Kfar Aza I know, and the Kibbutz Erez I know, and the Magen that I know, I look through the eyes and I see color, and I see light, and I see love, and I see life. And when you get there and you look at it, suddenly those things that you're used to and you know, and we all know that have been there, are suddenly not. Some of you that know me know that me being at a loss of words is a miracle in and of itself. But that's really what it was. The one thing I could tell you, and I don't think I need to go into the details of what it's like, as Michal said, to smell and feel evil when you walk those streets, is actually the encouraging part that you see when you walk those streets. The encouraging part when you walk those streets is the people that you meet might be somewhat broken, and we're all mourning, and we're all sad. But what you leave when you get back into the car, when you leave, when you finish the meeting and you leave that room, is the feeling of strength. It's silly. You think that you go there to help and be inspiring, but then when you walk out, suddenly you feel as the one that's being inspired. The people that are down there, the individuals that we know, that we love, that we work with, that we are family, are the most inspiring individuals I have ever met in my entire life. And when you walk through that, you feel the strength. And that's why we're so driven to work together. The strategic way we work, the consortium that we create, the synergies that we were able to create on the ground. And if it's even 3, 4, 5 weeks before not knowing what was going to happen, but working on an evacuation plan, knowing so that at the drop of a hat, we can take a community as a whole and move it to another place in the country. That the regional council mayor calls me and says, thank God you spoke to us a couple months back about this because you have the only plan that we had on the desk. When we think about what Doron and what Elie just spoke about, individuals with special needs, the individuals that don't have the voices that we need to make sure their voices aren't forgotten, that don't fall on deaf ears. If it's talking about Lotem that took over 5,000 kids from the evacuees out and gave them that moment of joy and gave them that moment of life. And if it's talking about organizations like Green Horizons, that in and of itself are an extraordinary organization, but when you walk through it's nothing less of a refugee camp in the Dead Sea. And you see the individuals, and I'm looking and I'm talking to the Eshkol Regional Council staff and the Shara Negev Regional Council staff when we're there, and I'm saying, wow, you must have hired new people. And they said, we didn't hire anybody. And I go over and I say, who exactly do you guys work for? They're like, we work for Green Horizons. We're just here on their staff, on their team. And it's happening all over the country. This is what it's like to have a synergy. This is what it's like to create that consortium when we couldn't get civil security gear. But when we called the manufacturers from overseas in Israel and said, guys, we're Sderot, we're Shara Negev, we're Eshkol Regional Council, we're together, we're one, suddenly the conversation changed. Suddenly we were able to get things that no one else could. And that's what it's about. It's about volunteering and mobilizing 120,000 volunteers because there's a food security issue right now that is a clear and present danger to the future of the state of Israel. It's about housing issues when we want to find long-term solutions in places like Arad and Yerucham. If day by day we can continue using the synergy, using the energy, and finding solutions, we can continue not only being inspired, but being inspiring. Every time we walked out of a meeting, every time we walked out of a place, it only strengthens what I knew, that we have a national mission. We have a mission to rebuild. We have a mission to continue. We have a mission to return. It's what it's about. And some people think it's an Israeli story or it's a Gaza envelope story. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. I know I'm preaching to the choir of hundreds that are on these calls, and I see faces time after time coming on because you care, because you love, because you say, count on me. Because you say, we'll be here for you when you need us. We'll be able to give the support. We'll be able to give that love. The only way I can walk through the streets of the Gaza envelope, walk into the meetings that we're starting to discuss the tomorrow, starting to discuss how we can build bigger and better, because that is how we are going to return the individuals to their homes. There already are individuals turning to some of their homes and they're saying, we want to return home. And our job, our mission, our life's mission right now is to enable an oasis, to build bigger, to build better, and to not stop until we're done. When you walk around the streets and you see the burns and the bullet holes, yes, we see it on the media, we see what's going on. But I urge you, I ask you, I appeal to you to please join me, join us, walking through when you're seeing it on the media, when you're seeing it on wherever you're seeing it, and see it through the prism of beauty, how we can make it bloom again, how we can continue making it a prosperous future for that part of our country, for our homeland, because that is what we need. All the support we're doing, we're going to keep on doing because we need to help people that are displaced. We need to help everybody that needs help. But the prism we need to look at the Gaza envelope right now is to see the strong people, to see the inspiring people, and to see through the prism of how beautiful it was and how beautiful it can be. As Doron said, no one's going to go home unless they're secure. That's true. And we have a country that is going to have to answer for that. And we are going to make sure they answer for that. And we are going to ensure that they do that, because the second we can return, we have shovel in the ground. Yesterday, I can't even make it up. I'll send it to whoever wants. We just got the building permits for the new Resilience Center in the Eshkol Regional Council. We have flagship initiatives like the largest community center almost in this country that we already started construction on. Therapy centers, athletic centers. We are already there. We are already building. We are already doing. And the only way we can do any of it is, number one, with the inspirational individuals that live there and are going to continue growing there. And because of you guys, because we're nothing without you here. We can be a big, strong bunch of individuals, but without your support, without you pushing us up that hill, every text message you send, every dollar you put in, every investment you make is going to drive us to bigger, better oasis and the future of our homeland. Don't forget it and join us. Toda rabah. Thank you, everyone.
So Yoel, nobody knows it better than you as the project manager for JNF-USA. Nobody knows it better than you. So when you tell us we're going to build, we can believe it. And we know we're going to build bigger and better with Doron's help and your help. It'll be another miracle. When we light the candles at Hanukkah, it'll be another miracle. So thank you so much, Yoel. Thank you to all of our speakers. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November 1st, we will hear from Professor Meron Yochai, Sammy Ofer School of Communications, Head of Digital Influence and Perceptions Specialist. We'll also meet with Yedidia Harush, JNF-USA Chalutza Liaison, and Gabby Haro from Gush Etzion. And we will hear about Kfar Etzion's absorbing of the Shlomit community. We have 2 more days to reach our $1 million match, generously made by 3 partners from Denver, Colorado, Bob Lemke, Toby Mower, and the Shayna Glassman Foundation. We urge you to make your gift at jnf.org/support Israel. Every dollar goes directly to our family on the ground and to the areas that are in greatest need. Don't forget to visit our online mitzvah marketplace, where you can purchase from local businesses in northern Israel and send a care package to a soldier, an evacuee family, or just purchase something for yourself. There's so many ways to show your support and to be part of this incredible community. If you have not yet registered for our global conference for Israel, visit jnf.org/global and join over 1,600 Israel supporters as we gather in Denver, Colorado, November 30th through December 3rd for a weekend of unity. With that, I'll sign off. We will see you tomorrow for our daily briefing at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Thank you for being with us. Am Israel Chai.